Gosh, I really need to stop editing and posting a video the night before or an hour before I want to post it. Anyways, hi, if you're new here, my name is Renika Shadora and I'm an artist. I'm also known as Shadora Art Paintings on Instagram. Today we'll be going over my sketchbook. First, here's the cover. I wanted to include a lot of stickers on my sketchbook this time. These stickers I got off Amazon. Don't worry, I still support small businesses. That sticker in the corner is from an artist named Crafty Raven. He is a stained glass artist. You should really check him out on Instagram. But yeah, I got most of these stickers off Amazon. Very 2000s theme. Anyway, let's get into my sketchbook. So I have painted the iconic Cinderella pumpkin carriage on a 24 by 30 canvas, and this is my take of a darker version of that pumpkin carriage. I went for a more gothic, dark Victorian aesthetic. So this is the first of many Maddie related drawings. If you don't know, I've mentioned Maddie in my videos before, but Maddie is not only my best friend, one of my best friends, she's also my art mutual online. Her name is Trail Canvas. I don't know why it took me a second, but yeah, she loves 21 Pilots, so I made a cassette tape drawing feature her favorite 21 Pilot song using permanent markers, so it obviously bled through. So this watercolor painting was inspired by an image I saw on Pinterest where a hand was holding a heart. It looked like a book cover with gold around in it, so that's what this piece is inspired by. I wanted to experiment with watercolor and almost have like a very gory look to it. So I love drawing masquerade mask, and this is probably my first. This is also a challenge between me and friends. Like, I made this drawing during an Instagram live, and while I was live drawing this video, two of my friends who were watching the live decided to make their own masquerade mask, so you can see that post on Instagram. But yeah, that was my first masquerade mask. I love drawing them. They're so cool. And here is a little doodle I made. You'll find a lot of doodles in my sketchbook, probably made during church so I can stay awake. And here is another one of those church doodles that I was talking about. I made this doodle while I was waiting for my ride to get there. This is the outside of the dorm across from mine. So this little doodle popped in my head, and actually this was used for a class. So for my major in college, I had to take a product development class, and you had to design a purse made out of cardboard, and this is the design I chose. It was a purse with two wings as clasps. Here's a doodle I made at a Sunday after church Sunday dinner. I was just doodling because a lot of people were talking, and I felt weird just coming up to people and starting conversations. Since Valentine's Day was around the corner, I created this design for a flower vase that I would love to make myself or have someone make for me, like a heart in the middle and little crystals around in it. So if someone could make this for me, I would pay top dollar for it, and I really appreciate it. I'm broke now, so I couldn't pay you with your worth, but I would really like to see this idea come to life. I spilled a little paint on this page, so I just decided to do something random. Here's another one of my church doodles. It's just sitting through the sermon and trying to stay awake and pay attention is hard. I need to be writing something. I didn't take notes because I knew I wouldn't read it later, so I just doodled. Here is me testing out new markers I got from Amazon. As you can see, they're very pigmented, I guess you could say. However, a few of them have started to dry out, unfortunately, and I need some new ones. Not all of them, but a few of them, because I think I got the 46 or 72 pack. This is the first drawing I made with those dark markers as far as my YouTube video. I really love how this came out. I especially love the hair. I think this is my favorite hairstyle I've ever drawn, with how the layering is. This is just another drawing of me playing around with the markers. I really just wanted to see how they layered on top of each other, and really play around with the color orange because I don't use it a lot in my art. Now this is a drawing I was trying to practice. I was trying to incorporate more men in my drawing. However, the execution just was not there. The idea is there and I like the idea, but again, it didn't turn out how I wanted to, especially the nose. The nose looks weird and the background is just it's just a lot. So here's another attempt of me trying to draw men. Actually, I created this drawing for one of my YouTube videos. It's called The Process of Grieving a Friendship, or it's about grieving friendships. And I really wanted to try to get better at shading while also trying to draw a masculine face. So here's the sketch of my digital logo. You can find my new logo on my Instagram and TikTok, mostly on any social media platforms. Actually, the profile picture on my YouTube channel. This is the drawing of that. I rendered it digitally. And for my digital art, I use Ibis Paint X. I don't know why I want to say 6, but yeah. Here's another drawing of me just goofing off. And as you can see, drawing masquerade mask. I'm heavily inspired by them. I don't know why. It's just something about drawing a mask, the mystery of it, and all the creativity is all in the details. To me, it's interesting. This is a bonsai tree I created on YouTube Live. I may try to go live on YouTube more. But yeah, I just created this little tree to test out the layering again and to work on my shading skills without using black and white automatically. So there's an artist on Instagram named Sydney White. She has art lessons as part of her subscription, and she was going over perspective. And so this is what I drew for my perspective. I just drew it was on my desk. Obviously, it's not accurate, but I was just trying to work on my shading and my perspective of things around me. So here's another drawing I created for YouTube. I don't like how the flowers turned out in this, but overall I'm happy with the details of like the mirror and the starry background. I just wish I would have either chose different colors for the flowers or just did something else. Here's another drawing of me, or my attempt of drawing a dude. As you can see, I like guys, or like drawing guys with long hair. I don't know why. I think it's interesting. I like drawing hair sometimes. Okay, so I made this drawing while I was in New York, which was hard because I didn't have my tripod with me, but I love how this turned out, especially with the yellow. And I think I may turn this into a print. Also, if you see any drawings from the sketchbook that you would like to see as prints, please let me know in the comments or on my Instagram. So Maddie, again, aka Trail Canvas on Instagram, she had a challenge of using complementary colors in her Discord server. She has a Discord server where artists can get together to challenge each other, offer feedback, and it is for gamers and people who care about wellness and mental health like that. But basically the challenge was complementary colors, and I chose to do this piece. This piece is about, feeling comfortable with your body even with its stretch marks, and it's just about how your body can still be beautiful even if you have stretch marks. So this particular piece was inspired by 3 different things. Like the hair was inspired by the hairstyle I saw Jennifer Coolidge had in a commercial. The masquerade mask was off Pinterest, and then the top was inspired by a sparkly red corset I saw on Pinterest, and I just made that a next piece. But it's mostly inspired by an 80s style look. So again, my friend Maddie, she is mentioned a lot. She has inspired me a lot, especially with this particular sketchbook. So I'm going to mention her name a lot in this video. And Maddie, if you're watching this, thank you for your inspiration. But she has a ghost painting and I love it so much, and I've been begging her to make prints of it. So finally I decided to make this ghost inspired picture for her. This drawing is for a class. I had to draw like different garments of this, like varieties of one garment. Anyway, here's a page I made dedicated to the color brown. Could have did better, but hey, it was just a fun little doodle. So in Maddie's Discord server, she hosts art nights where you just come and yap with other artists. And I had finished a painting, so I decided to do some sketching in my sketchbook. And so I created this black and white gray sketch. Here's another one. This is inspired by an artist by the name of Swan Bones. She has a lot of detail in her work, so I want to create a very detailed piece. Obviously, this didn't turn out how I wanted. I feel like it looks good from a distance, but up close, it looks very chaotic and not in a good way. Here's just some jewelry I drew because I was bored. Not much detail or much thought put into it. So the artist I mentioned previously, Sydney White, with her subscription, she hosts art lessons on hosts art lesson lives. And so she went over like shading and what's the word I'm looking for, this like drawing the human face, and she was talking about planes and stuff. I've forgotten that information, but here's my 2 attempts of practicing. It doesn't look accurate to the references, but hey, at least I tried. So if I'm correct, my friend Maddie, her favorite color is yellow. If not, she can correct me later when she watches this video, but I decided to do dedicated page to the color yellow. Yellow is so pretty. I used to not like it. I don't know why. I was a kid. I was young. I was stupid. But it's so pretty. Here's a random doodle. I use pointillism for the background. I haven't used pointillism in a while, and I would love to do more art with that particular style. Some abstract work I tried to take a stab at. I'm trying to get more comfortable with making bad art, or realizing that not every art piece has to be a print that is supposed to sell for like thousands of dollars. This piece is inspired by a greenhouse. I may make this a print. We'll see. I'm actually really proud of myself because I didn't think I could do this level of detail. It's not my best. Well, it might be, but I've definitely gotten better about how I did the shading on the steps and such, and layering. Dun dun dun. So the backstory behind this piece is long and icky, but basically there was this guy who wouldn't stop messaging for months after he wouldn't stop messaging me on my social media platforms after I had blocked him, and it lasted for a very long time. And then he recently tried to follow my private Instagram, so I had to draw that piece to get it out. Anyways, this is supposed to be a mannequin with a mirror for a face, but I was just doodling and didn't put detail into it. That's why it looks basically like crap. But hey, it's my sketchbook. Not every page has to be a masterpiece. Just a wee little tree drawing, just to put something on the page. I want to say it was late at night and I was on the phone with Maddie as per usual. Anyway, here is a book cover inspired drawing. Like the brown swirls with the gold is supposed to be like clasps on a book cover. And I'm obsessed with celestial, like the celestial themes. And I decided to put that in a corset. I would love to create that in real life. So this particular piece was inspired by a masquerade mask, and it's also inspired by Chinese culture. I want to incorporate more diversity in my artwork, so that's why I use some of the colors that I use. So in Maddie's Discord server, or in the art Discord server, she had a challenge of only drawing with primary colors. So I decided to draw this, and I really love stained glass art, so that's why I decided to go with this, and it's inspired by Beauty and the Beast. Another drawing created with Maddie on Art in the App. Like I said, Maddie has heavily inspired my sketchbook this time. We've gotten really close recently over these past few months. Anyway, this is inspired by early 2000s, especially with the stars. I saw a pattern with different color stars on a black background, and that's what inspired this particular piece. So me and a friend, you can assume who that friend is by now, challenged each other to draw with only these colors, and retro and 60s came to mind, so that's what I created. I may make a print of this later, but only for myself. So my school hosted a maker's market, and I sold my art, and this is just me keeping inventory of what I had and what all that I sold. Also, the market was from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and setup was at like 9 to 9:30. So it was hard to stay awake. So I just made this drawing to stay awake and say hello to customers. A little sketch. This is gonna be a painting. The mask is gonna be black with fire and water on it, and it's gonna be surrounded by actual rose petals. So in the Discord server that I am a part of, we had a Mother Earth challenge of what does Mother Earth or nature mean to you? And this particular piece is about how Mother Nature is sad because of all the destructive things going in the world and of all the things that is hurting the earth. So this is another church doodle. It's about Easter and the true meaning of Easter for me as a Christian. Sometimes can be Easter. Some people think it's just about, the eggs and the bunny, but for me, it's about how, my Christian faith in Jesus. Anyway, this is the full body image I created for the Mother Earth challenge. I decided to go very retro and give her some bell bottoms. So this is also a drawing I made for a YouTube video, and it's for my friend who loves coffee. We were supposed to have a PowerPoint night in the Discord server, and her whole PowerPoint was going to be on coffee, and I had nothing else to draw, so I was like, cup of coffee it is. Oh, also, if you're interested in joining an art Discord, if you go to Trail Canvas's Instagram, you can find that link in her bio. She has different challenges like secondary color challenge. This is my attempt at that. However, I don't really like it, and it's because of the background. I think the turtles are fine, it's just everything else no. This is a sketch I gave up on because I didn't like. It's supposed to be like a Polaroids surrounding the camera, and the green background is just, I could tell the green marker's about to dry out, so I said no. Funny story about this, my friend, I went to her house in October and I left my markers there, didn't get them back till April, and so I was trying to see if they still worked. This piece is about nostalgia and how you can grow being an artist as a kid, drawing your little stick figure to sun in the corner to practicing human anatomy. So this is my reattempt. I feel like I'm saying that wrong, or shouldn't be saying that anyway, of the secondary challenge in the art Discord. I like this way more than the turtles and toads. Plus it's very me. I really like drawing. I really like retro style. This is a doodle I made because I just had a job interview and they asked me what's the word? It's not unnormal, but they asked me very different questions than most interviewers don't. So I was just freaking out. Here is another drawing I created while I was freaking out because I was like, I just need something to do. I need something to fidget with. And I fidgeted with my markers. In the art Discord server, there is a monochrome challenge, but with black, white, and gray. This is what I created. I'll probably redeem myself later. That's the word I was looking for earlier. But I will redeem myself later. It's not terrible, but it's not my best. And towards the end, I stopped caring. I was just like, I'm about to finish this sketchbook and I can film a sketchbook tour. And so I just started doodling random stuff in the last pages. which is why there's a bunch of different cartoon eyes on this page. I saw this pattern on Pinterest and was like, I need to fill this page so I can hurry up and finish this sketchbook. And this is what I decided to go with. I decided to go with green because it was the closest color next to me. I decided to use red for this page because red is so pretty, and I think it's slowly becoming one of my favorite colors, if not my favorite color. It just pops and is such a statement piece, you know. Here's another drawing to showcase my love for masquerade masks. I sketched this out because I'm planning to make this a digital sketch, and I will showcase that on my Instagram whenever I feel like digitally painting it. I was gonna do it after I drew it, but was too tired. Again, like I said, I stopped caring as I got to the end of the sketchbook. I was like, let me fill up this page. Boom, random doodles. And this is toward the end of the sketchbook. I was like, yeah, I'm making bad art, but do I care? Not really, because I'm just getting some practice. But yeah, just messing around. And for the last page, I decided to put some effort into it. So I created this piece, Lady in Red, and all her red accessories. Okay, that was the last page of my sketchbook. Thank you for going on this journey with me through my different art styles. Feel free to check out my other videos. Have a good day, have a good night, have a good morning. Bye!